pretty sure I'm live now. This is my second attempt. I actually thought I was live for about 30 seconds and I wasn't. And here we are. Hands up. I'll try that again. Hands up. And I'm live. Alright guys, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last live I do for a while. The audience has spoken and nobody cares to see these. I don't think nobody said don't do lives, but from the amount of views that they've been getting, it's clear as day that these are not the way to get content out there. I was doing these lives because I wanted it to be consistent. I want to be able to post consistently. I truly enjoy talking about business, and especially lawn care, landscape business, but I guess the lives format is just not the best way to get that information out there. I need to, produce, edit good content, which is what I want to do, but you guys know how hard that is. It's really hard, man. Takes a lot of time. Sorry, Eden. Hey, I do appreciate everybody that's consistently on here, man. Guys, you guys don't know that. I really appreciate that. It's amazing. There are some names on here that I can count on to be there, and I really appreciate that. But the other thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to keep this at like 30 minutes. I should have started right at the hour, but I didn't. So I'll try and end this around 1:30, maybe a little earlier than that. But anyway, yeah. So as you know, I post. I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I post a lot of light content for Lights Out Wholesale. And, doing that as kind of like, creating content, recording, editing, even have an assistant that helps me with that, you realize how hard it is to do content every day. I mean, obviously there's some YouTubers that make it look easy, but it's not. And they've kind of the big YouTubers that I've seen that run a lawn care business and post content regularly. They have a good system. Their whole family's pretty much part of it. You know what I mean? Whereas for me, it's just me. So it's really hard. I've tried hiring people to help me with content, and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't, it's not like my other services where I hire people and they're just going and going and going. When it comes to creating content, editing, as awesome as that job sounds, people just either aren't good at it, meaning if I hired somebody to help me do videos, they pretty much don't take it serious, you know what I mean? So it's always hard to find people, and in this industry, for some reason, if you're really good at creating content, let's say you're a social media marketer guy, right, or girl, and that's what you're doing as a job, and you hire somebody or I hire somebody like them, they expect to do not very much for a lot of money, and it always confuses me because now here's the thing: if you can get a lot of viewers, subscribers, and that person, you hire that person and they're like really managing it, like really managing, like they take ownership of it completely, and you see a huge increase in, you know, subscriber counts, viewer counts, and even like revenue, then that would be worth it. But there are a lot of people you hire, and they've never done this before, but yet they expect to get paid like somebody who's been doing it for 30 years. You know what I mean? So it's just it's kind of funny that way, the mentality of, you know, the way people are nowadays. But anyway, so Eden, we do mostly daily vids. Takes a lot of work. Yeah, it does. So let me see. I can't click on you, Eden. So did I know that you have a YouTube channel? Let me see. Eden Lawn Service. Let's see. I'm pulling up a new page. There you go. Nice. I just subbed, Eden. Cool. Yeah, it looks like you got some good stuff on here, man. Cool. I'm gonna check that out. So I bought my tickets for Service Autopilot conference in November, I think it is. Yeah, I think the 16th through 20th, something like that. So I bought my tickets. I'm taking one of my employees. I'm taking Justin with the sprinklers. I feel like, you know, that'll be a good opportunity for him to you know, network and find out some best practices for sprinkler managing, workflow, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and so I've got that plan. I've also got invited by a vendor to check out their plant, their facility. I won't say the name in case that causes problems with other, you know, people that buy. I don't want to, you know what I mean. We were actually, I was at a place one time, and they made a custom product for me. Not this company, another company. And they posted it on their Instagram or something. And apparently their big customers like were super jealous and were really upset with that company because they did something for me, and they didn't do that for them. You know, I was just like, really? They're like, yeah, I mean, that's what's happening. And I was just like, holy crap, you know. I didn't even think that could be a possibility, but you know how it is, right? Imagine you give an employee something, but you don't give anybody else. There are gonna be people that are gonna be like, what's that all about? So I get it, I guess. So because of that, I just realized, you know, I can't really say things that I get. You know, we spend a lot of money on all kinds of stuff here, right? I mean, tons of money. And so a lot of these vendors, they want to make, you know, they want to keep us buying their products, so they do stuff, right? They take me out to dinner. They take my employees out to dinner. They give my employees all kinds of swag, just to keep those employees buying their stuff. You know what I mean? And it happens all the time, and you know, I appreciate it. We had a company last year take us deep sea fishing to San Diego. That was freaking awesome. And so, you know, I mean, that's cool. And that's what happens when you spend a lot of money on some of these companies, and they want to take care of you. And we should be doing that too for some of our customers, right? I mean, we should be giving them free stuff or something cool to keep them, you know, keep them coming. I mean, the way I look at it is, as long as we have like the best customer service we can provide, which takes a lot of work. They don't actually know that, but because we're in the labor industry, I don't think it's like super important to like, buy them trips or, all those kind of things, because we are paying them back with our sweat, you know what I'm saying? So it is a little different than retail, where, they're not they're not really doing much other than selling a product. Um, so it's not like we have to go out of our way to make customers happy, other than make sure that we do the service as best as possible, and that we're handling things in the office as best as we can. But as far as buying them things, I don't think that's super necessary. But I've heard some of the big guns out there say that, they have customers that spend millions of dollars, and if they could just keep them happy and keep getting more of those customers, your company would just grow so big, right? And there's some truth there. I guess I could go into that a little bit. So yeah, Jarmar, this will probably be my last live video for a while. We'll see, because I do want to keep things consistent, and I'd rather have something out there than nothing. But I'm going to try and do some editing and producing of some better quality content videos rather than these lives. I was doing these lives because I just wanted to keep it consistent. And it's something that I can do every Saturday, because I have like a few hours every Saturday where I can do this kind of stuff and not have it affect work or home. So, but the viewer count is always so small, which just tells me that this isn't something people really want to see. So I'd rather to have a bigger impact with, with my information. I'd rather try something different, which is going to be, editing and producing content, which I don't have a good track record of doing, but these lives just aren't cutting it, sadly. But anyway, what I want to talk about was a few years ago. So I read the book Profit First, which was an amazing book, right? Mike Michalowicz. I've actually met him twice, and all because of the conferences that I've been to, where he was a speaker, and I was actually in his hotel room was on the same hallway as mine, so I ran into him a couple of times. And I explained to him how awesome his book changed my life, basically. I mean, those guys, if you're not doing Profit First, you're really missing out on quality of life. Like, just a huge impact. If you do business, doing Profit First will change your life for the better. I promise. It changed my life just crazy. Anyway, so I read that book, and because it was such a good book, I started reading his other books, and one of them, I think, it's been so long now, I've read like all of them, so I'm getting a little mixed up on which book it was, but it might be the pumpkin something. I want to say the Pumpkin Patch Rule or something like that, but something pumpkin. So basically, well, that one's about finding a niche and just getting really good at it. Now, he calls it pumpkin because the Pumpkin Plan. Thank you, Jamar. So you must have read that. I hope you did. It was a good book. Basically, they talk about this pumpkin growing company was so good at growing pumpkins that they started just focusing in on this one pumpkin seed, and they would reproduce that same seed over and over again because it would produce the biggest pumpkins. The point of that book is they were so good at that one thing, and they were making more money than pretty much everybody else because they were just focused on one niche, right? Instead of selling a bunch of seeds or different variety of seeds, they just focused on one seed. And then so he kind of goes into explaining, figure out what you're good at and just do that. But I believe it's at the end of that book where it talks about you do the same thing with customers, right? So you have to find your best customers, right? Think in your mind, who are your top 3 customers, okay? Think about it right now. So in my mind, I can see the top 3 customers that I have. What makes them awesome? You have to write that down. What profession are they in? Try to figure that out too. So you figure that out, right? And then you're like, oh wow, there's kind of a pattern. You start to find a pattern with all these things so that you can try to find just those customers and have all your customers be just like that. So we did that. And I'm not saying it's a game changer, or I'm not saying we actually did it right, or I'm not even saying that it worked, but we did it, right? So we figured out, so we call it the top 100, where there's another book called the top 100 too, or it's called the Dream 100. Now, I didn't read the Dream 100, I don't think I did. But there's a book called the Dream 100, but we call our best customers Dream 100 customers. So when we have a customer that, I don't know, we reference this customer in the office, we say, hey, look, let's talk to this customer, they're Dream 100. It's like, oh, when we hear the word Dream 100, we just like, oh, we're just more on top of it. We make sure that we just provide the best service always, because we know that customer, basically a Dream 100 customer for us is somebody that just loves our services, never complains, and basically always buys stuff that we're offering. And they typically have a lot of services. So they're paying more than anybody else. They never complain, and they basically do everything we recommend. That is a Dream 100 customer for us. And we have a whole bunch of them. So when we were doing our research on what is the best customer in our system, we found that they're doctors. Somebody in that house, either the husband or wife, is a doctor. Not every single one of them, obviously. Like, they're not all doctors, but the vast majority are doctors. And we realized that doctors, they're never really home, so they want their yard to look as good as possible. And so that's kind of what we marketed to. That's what we found is our niche customer. And so our marketing is tailored to that. The way that we service customers that basically our services are kind of tailored to that. So we try to give email notifications to customers. We're not perfect, but we try and let them know, hey, there's a problem here on the side of your house. Did you notice that? It's something we could probably fix. Should I have somebody go out there, look at it, and do an estimate? Our Mo guys are instructed to tell the office when they notice a lot of different things, because we want to be able to tell that to the customer, because they're probably busy professionals who aren't home. So it basically, because we had that information, it kind of changed us the way that we handle the workflow. But it was also kind of good to know what's the customer, what are their profession, what do they do, so that we can kind of market to them. So like if there's a trade show, where there's a bunch of booths, and it's like doctors are the people that are walking through, we want to have a booth there. We'll be surrounded by surgery tools and everything, and then here we are, a lawn care company in the middle of the trade show that's like we super out of place. But that's our customers. So you got to kind of like figure those things out. Anyway, that's something that I just wanted to point out. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I didn't really have a topic today other than just letting you know this may be the last live I do for a while. I'm friends with a few people that have YouTube channels, and I kind of meant, because I noticed the viewer count go down big time with lives. If you look at my list of videos, you'll notice that my lives have hardly any views on them. You know, and so I was asking people that do YouTube videos, like, what do they think of lives, and they all agreed that it doesn't really impact. It doesn't do much of an impact. So, and I was consistent, guys. I have done these lives consistently for, I think, 5 months. I think. Every Saturday. And it's still kind of like one of those things where, I never really have more than like 10 people watching at a time. And part of me says, hey, it's not about the views, right? It's about me giving information, and do I feel good doing it? And I do. I really do. But I'm also somebody that likes to get rewarded for work that I'm doing, just like we all are. I mean, we're all business owners, most of us. And you do something consistently and you do it as best you can, you expect to get rewarded for it. But these lives, it just, I don't know. Now, it's just me being on camera. It's not like I'm producing this awesome content or anything like that. It's just, I'm not putting too much effort other than I'm just giving you my information. But I am doing it consistently, And again, I do appreciate all the people that have been on here every single week. I really do appreciate that. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be doing YouTube. I'm just going to try and do more content that is edited and planned out and shot. I'm going to try to do that. Now, I'm going to fair warn you, I've done that in the past and I'm not consistent at it. But I'm going to try to do better. I'm actually at a point where I really don't need to be in the office anymore. I really don't. I always come up with some weird excuse as to why I'm in here every day. But to be fair, most of my office staff knows I'm not in the office. But I have been the sprinkler manager, and now I've been the warehouse manager for the sprinkler parts, because I'm organizing that. I'm actually supposed to be doing that right now, but I wanted to take a break and come do a live because I didn't do one last week, Yeah, it's going to be my last live, Cameron. Just don't have a big impact with these. I don't really get many views, and I feel like if I'm going to continue with YouTube, to have the biggest impact, I probably should be creating better content through editing and recording stuff. It's just hard to do for me, but I'm going to try it because the lives I don't think I'm doing a good service out there of creating information. I feel really comfortable doing these. I wish that the lives were like more interactive than they are, because I feel really comfortable sitting here and just giving you as much information as I can. I'm naturally okay at doing that, but I'm not naturally okay at saying, all right, today we're going to film this and we're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about this and we're going to create this 10 minute content. I'm not good at that. I've hired people to help me and they've never really, I've had some good people, but it's not consistent. They don't live, breathe, and eat this business like I do. So, I'm going to try, basically what I'm saying is, I'm going to try and do things a little differently. And we're going to see how it works out. Do you like right, standard, right? So, first of all, I don't like any zero turn mowers. Not that I don't like them, I've never used them. Yeah, I've never used a zero turn mower. I try to deliver good, Eden, I try to deliver good info to the viewers of my vids. Most of the time it's just a day in the life of lawn care. I like zero turn mowers. So Eden, I agree. I used to do some day in the life, you know, when I was in the truck. That wasn't too easy and natural for me to do either, but I get it. So, and that was a lot easier than it is now because I was in the field. You know, like I'm not even in the field now. I mean, I'm mostly running parts. I'm in the yard. I rarely ever go to a property. You know what I mean? So I'm a little. It's weird because I love doing YouTube. I enjoy it. I feel joy like talking about business and stuff. But there's just a small niche of people, basically the ones that are watching right now. That, like that's how small the group is, that likes to hear about the business side of things. And again, if it's something that I like doing and I'm spending time doing, I like to feel like I'm accomplishing something, but I feel like I'm not really feeling an impact. More like I don't feel like I'm contributing in a way because not a lot of people are watching it or seeing it. You know what I mean? So I feel like I need to do something different. And so we'll try. We'll see. But I'm also doing a lot of content for Christmas lights. I mean, that's actually something I'm getting paid to do. So there's a little different about that. There's something different about that. I actually have like somebody who's supposed to help me shoot content for that. But the thing is, because of the retail aspect of the Christmas light gig, a lot of it is social media. So it's like posting on, you know, Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, and because it's like there's a retail aspect to it, whereas YouTube, you could do a retail aspect on that too, but it's more for like views and subscriber count, right? And in order to get the views up, you have to have a lot of subscribers. And so, and to do that consistently, like every once in a while you get a video and it does a lot. Freddie, you live 120 North. No, I don't live there. I'm going to take that off just because I don't know if people are going to, you know, show up here or whatever. But that's my shop location. But yeah, so I'm going to try something different. I do feel a strong sense of doing like social media and YouTube more now than I ever have before, partly because of my light gig that I've got going. Because I'm getting paid to do that, and it's kind of making me feel like I'm still like I have something to do, whereas with my lawn care, I could just focus on my lawn care, and that's great. You know, I would love to keep doing it, which is what I'm going to always do. I don't think I'm ever going to take complete focus away from my business, but I can do social media and promote my business and my light business and my YouTube all at the same time. So there's something there. I never really looked at social media and YouTube like I am now. You know, I always looked at YouTube as like kind of just a way to express, get the thoughts out of my head, and because I love talking about this stuff. And it's not like I have a bunch of business friends that are always here at my shop. So when I'm talking to you guys, I feel like I've got my friends around that I can talk business to because it's something that I like doing. I'd rather talk about lawn care business than anything else. So that's what YouTube has always been for me. But lately, I've been doing YouTube for a while, so I've been learning some things here, just not even like, I haven't even been learning things like on purpose. It's just kind of like I just learning things just as I'm been doing it, right? And so it's all come to a point right now where it's like I want to take what I've learned and elevate it, right? So I want, and I've been doing social media for a while with my business. Um, I've hired people to do social media. When you're paying people good money and you start to see what they're doing, you kind of go, well, I could do that too. Not trying to save money or anything, but I may want to do that too. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at a point where it's like, you know what? I think my next phase of my, I don't know, I don't want to say career, but maybe my career or life or stage or whatever is maybe making more content like all day. So here's the deal. With my Christmas light gig, I basically got hired last year to do the Christmas light social media stuff. And it got me really like thinking about it like a job. Like, I haven't had a real job in like, I don't know, 13 years, something like that. 11, no, more like 11 years. 11 years. And I'm the kind of person that when I get a job, I'm like, I take ownership of that job. Like, if I have to come in on my days off and not even clock in, I would do it. That's the kind of worker I was. It was like, regional managers would come in and go, "What are you doing here? It's freaking Sunday night." It's like, dude, I gotta do inventory. It's like, damn, don't you ever go home? It's like, if I ever get caught up, I will. So I've always been like that, and I still do that now. But when I got hired to do the light videos last year, I took it like a job, and it's like I started obsessing over it because I enjoyed doing it. First of all, and I'm getting paid to do it, so it's like, and I could kind of test my own limit so that if I do a really good job, then I can go back and negotiate better terms. You know what I mean? That's kind of like one of the reasons why I'm such a hard worker is because I know that when it's time for raise time, I'm like, boom, you cannot deny the work I do. So here's what I want. So I've always been like that. And so I feel like that's the next level that I'm at right now. It's like, I'm going to do some social media content. I'm going to try and grow my my different businesses that I've got. I've got a social media business and a Christmas light retail business. So if I can get more people to buy, I make more money with the Christmas lights, and kind of the same thing with the social media, right? So with the YouTube. And so that's kind of where I'm at, and I feel like that's something I may want to do. Could lead to bigger things too. I mean, I've kind of got my thoughts on possibly someday looking into starting a marketing company. I know that it would be awesome to have access to a marketing company that can totally focus on my business without it actually being a company that we're paying, third party, where it's like it's just a marketing team in our business. That's what I would love to have that. So I feel like if I can focus on growing the media side of things, it's just going to be natural that the marketing company may just kind of start taking shape. But we'll see. Eden, I love business side vids. Just starting a series for it. Nice. And I may start watching it now. Mas de la División de Gardens. So, yeah, Alfred wants to hear more about the garden division. Freddie, did I mow lawns yesterday? Yeah, we mowed lawns. I didn't personally mow lawns, so I don't know if you mean if I mowed lawns, but my company did. Yeah, we mowed. Two guys mowed a route, and one guy did a first-time mow on his own. So yeah, it's really funny. Like, how the mowing industry kind of just mows Monday through Thursday, right? And then Fridays are kind of like makeup days, and then usually we try to be off on Saturday and Sunday. That's usually the way I've noticed all lawn care businesses do it. It's kind of cool. Me and my employees mowed lawns yesterday. Nice. Yeah, I mean, so it's pretty incredible. We average about, I don't know, I'm just throwing out numbers here. I'm not going to even look at the numbers, but we average about $10,000 to $11,000 a day with all the services combined, right? It's everything, sprinklers, gardens, and mowing. We average about $11,000 a day. On Fridays, when we don't do hardly any mowing, so the mowing that we do, so we have 7 crews Monday through Thursday that mow, but on Friday we only have one crew, and they only do like half of a list, but they do the bigger properties, and there's 2 guys that work on that route, and in our revenue is still is like $6,000 to $7,000 on a Friday when we don't hardly even mow. So I was just kind of thinking, imagine if we mowed on Friday like a full route. I mean, I think that's something we need to do in the future. I mean, really, especially when our guys are they're averaging about, they're in the 40s of hours. You know, they average between 40 and 49 hours a week is what most of my mow guys do. I have some guys that work a ton more. So I have a guy, I think he did, well, physically, he didn't work that much. But because of the budget hours and things like that, I mean, I think he had like 70 hours on his check, which is just incredible. And I'm so glad he's making good money. So anyway, one other thing. So my focuses are going to be social media, which YouTube falls into that. So I'd say YouTube, social media, my light selling business, and the 2-day in-shop business courses that I'm going to be doing, right? So it's like somebody will basically pay me to hang with me for 2 days. I get to know their business before they get here. I give them all my secret tips and tricks and how I run everything, and I try and see if they can duplicate that with their businesses. So that's going to be like my other focus going into this next chapter phase of my life. I've got Rachel on board with it. She's going to be part of that team. So she's going to be doing the all of the numbers stuff with the I'm going to call them students, right? So all the students will be getting good data numbers from Rachel, and then the follow-up continuing education that we'll be following up with every month will be through Rachel, right? So I'll be here, show you how I run things, how I do things, answer questions, try and show you what numbers you need to be at, what do you need to charge, those kind of things, or operational wise, how I do things, how you should do things if you're starting this other division or that division, basically scaling up, right? That'll be my responsibility. But Rachel will be the numbers, right, and following up with every month with the ongoing business maintenance will be Rachel, coordinating with me if she has to, but for the most part she has it handled. So that's kind of going to be the other business that we're going to be focusing on. We are full routes Monday through Friday. Yeah, I mean, we just don't have a need for it yet. I mean, remember, at the beginning of the season, we had 6 mow guys. And all 6 guys had about 11 lawns a day at the beginning of the season. Because remember, we went from 2-man crews to 1-man crews. So 2-man crews were mowing 30 lawns a day. When we split them up, there's no way one guy could do that. Plus, we raised our prices so much that everybody only had 11 jobs at the beginning of the season, every day. 11 a day. So they went from 50 to about 75, 60 to 75. So they went from 40 lawns to 65 lawns. At the beginning of the season, where do you live, Eden? Where are you from? Or was it, no, sorry. Where are you from, Eden? But also, where are you from, Cameron? Maybe you both told me, but I don't remember. So, forgot where I was at there. Sorry, guys. Brain freeze. Take a drink break. I was asking you, Cameron, where are you from? I think you may have mentioned it. But I can't see that. Boise, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's Eden. Where are you from, Cameron? Arkansas.
Okay.
Nice. Well, I'm going to be at Service Autopilot Conference in November. That one's not a cheap one. That one costs quite a bit of money, especially since I'm bringing Justin with me. But you know, I think it's going to be a well worth trip. By the way, I got kicked out of the Service Autopilot members group on Facebook because somebody asked me a question about Service Titan, because I use Service Titan for my sprinkler division, and I guess Service Autopilot group admin on Facebook got pissed off and booted me off. I sent them a message saying, you know, I think it's wrong. Like, I use Service Autopilot for my business. I was just answering somebody's question because somebody tagged me. Somebody posted a question, is Service Titan good for sprinkler division? And then somebody tagged me, and so I answered it. And because I answered it, it's kind of like Service Autopilot sees me as like some kind of traitor or something, you know? So anyway, they booted me off, and, you know, I'm a little bugged by that because I spend so much money on Service Autopilot every year. And I even go to the conferences and all that stuff, and then they're going to kick me out. It's like, damn. Kick me out of the group. Like, they didn't kick me out of the software. That would be bad. That would be bad if they did that. But anyway, guys, I think I'm signing off today. You know, write in the comments what kind of videos you'd like to see, because I'm going to be trying to do something different, not these lives anymore. I want to try and do something that has a bigger impact. But yeah. So, Lawnscapes. It's interesting that you offer gardening. I've never heard of a business offering that service. So, we don't actually offer like pulling up carrots and veggie garden stuff like that. We will build. Okay, Freddie, I'm going to check on something. Yeah, right on, Cameron. So, Lawnscapes, we don't actually like, you know, do harvesting for gardens. We call gardens, like weeding flower beds and shrub beds and stuff like that. That's what we call gardening here. That's what I call it. And that's the name that stuck when I started doing it, and that's what I basically trained this whole area of customers to call it. So, anyway, all right, guys, I appreciate you. I really appreciate all you guys that are always on here, week in, week out. I freaking appreciate the hell out of you guys. And maybe I go back to doing lives because I do want to keep this consistent, me posting, but, you know, it's not really easy for me to do edible content. Edit content that I edit, chop up, produce that way. So, but I'm going to try doing it. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Peace out. Thanks for everything. Hopefully, we still get some good information out of this channel. Talk to you later.